Brianna Luna, and today is November 11th, 2018, and we are in week 2 in microbiology. I am going to be going over one of the two experiments we had for this week, and this one was the aseptic technique and culturing microbes. So we had 3 microbes that we cultured for this experiment. We had E. coli, we had epidermis, and the third one is cerevisiae. That one was a little difficult for me to pronounce. So the first part of the experiment was placing them in a nutrient broth and letting them incubate and sit for 24 to 36 hours. And I will place them in front of me here so you can see. So after 24 hours, I did after 48 hours, excuse me, I took a look at the cultures in the tube, and I had noticed that epidermis here had more significant growth than the other two at the 48-hour mark. And so I let them sit for an additional 24 hours and then took them out at 36 hours and began the next step in the experiment. I really felt that the other two needed more growth, and it didn't make that much of a difference, to be honest with you. I was hoping to see more of a difference the next day. It was difficult trying to use my loop to collect the group of the microorganisms to put them on the plate. So that part was difficult for me for the other two, not for the epidermis. It came out really easy and it all stuck together when I pulled it out of the tube. So the next part after letting them sit in the nutrient broth was to culture them on an agar plate in a zigzag formation to observe the growth. And so the E. coli is here. So you can see the initial, it was a zigzag in different quadrants of the plate. So you can see the initial quadrants right here, and then it became less and less the more I dragged it around the agar plate to the next quadrant. The cerevisiae is here, so it's the same situation, and doing this I was able to differentiate the shape of the growth and the color, the characteristics of the actual growth on the plate. And then the epidermis one came out really nice. Its growth was very defined in color and shape. So that's the epidermis. And it was really interesting to see the difference of growth in a broth versus the agar plate. In the broth, the nutrient broth provides the actual nutrients for that microorganism to grow and form. And then on the plate, when you place it on the agar plate, it allows them to form colonies, and really you can really differentiate the shape, the morphology, and it was very interesting to see both and compare and contrast and see what the advantages and the disadvantages may be during the experiment. So I really enjoyed this one and learned a lot from what is required in the lab when they put them on plates, and why it's necessary in the medical field, and also why it could be necessary in the medical field for the broth as well. So that completes this experiment, and that is the end of the video. Thank you.